All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I see it.
welcome everybody. We figured it out. Apologies on my side. And we'll go ahead and get started in just a minute. I'm going to tweet out the link just so everybody knows about the change here. But give me 1 second. And Rye, why don't you go ahead and get started and just kind of welcome everybody and talk a little bit about what we'll be doing with these kind of monthly streams.
Yeah, so we will start these monthly streams to give everybody an update on what we did in the past month on the platform, and then also give you guys a clear roadmap of what we will be working on for the next month. This is just for one, be overly communicating with everybody and all subscribers or all potential people that will subscribe to Deepvue in the future, just to give them an update on where the platform's at, but also to kind of document how the platform evolves over the next few years in a very public way, because that's what we've done over the past 2 years anyways, and why not do it more frequently going forward. So today's live stream will go over what we accomplished in August and some of the updates that we made to the platform in August itself. And then we have our roadmap for September, what things that we want to accomplish. We won't state every single thing that we will be doing, some minor changes, some major changes, but we want to hit the highlight points when it comes to our roadmap and things that we're doing in the future. So in the month of August, one of the first things that we want to highlight that we accomplished was the ability to scan pre and post markets. So our prior implementation on pre and post market was really not the best, not the most intuitive, and not the most, I would say, user friendly. So what we did was we now under column settings, you'll see a pre and post market drop down where things are basically data points dedicated to pre and post market. So what that does for you guys is now the ability to, since we have folders, to create a pre and post market folder and have dedicated scans that you run in pre and post market. At the moment, we started with the very basics in terms of the data points that we support. So open, high, low, close, price percent change, price dollar change, gap percent, gap dollar, volume versus 50. But we're gonna add more and more as you guys request them for pre and post market screening. So if you want to try this out, what you want to do is go to screener presets, go to pre and post market, and let's say post market movers. Now this is a list of stocks that are moving after hours today. And this is, if I go to a 5 minute and pull any one of these up, these stocks are on the move. You could copy, just like any other screener preset, you could copy this, make it your own, and then really scan the post market exactly the way you wanted. That way it's all customizable and available. We've added 2 screens so far in screener presets. We will add more in the next few days here to give you guys a few more ideas on how to scan these. But you could go ahead and create your folders and kind of have dedicated pre and post market screens. Richard, any questions that we see? Crazy echo from Richard, not Rye. Echo feedback.
It should be good now, but let us know in the chat if how the audio is now. Um, And as we go through this, we want to hear your feedback. So please let us know if you have any thoughts on the new features that we've added. I'll also pin to the top of the stream in just a moment the kind of roadmap, which is where you can go to place your feature requests, to upvote different feature ideas as well. And I'll put that up in just a minute. But yeah, I think we should be good all now, Rise. So yeah, let's keep on rolling and walk through the rest of the new features.
Awesome. So the second thing that we did on the platform is the ability to share your screens, your data panels, your watch lists with other traders. So what how this will help us is, when we did tutorials and webinars, we would always get requests or different traders within the stream or chat or online or social media platforms always asking each other as to what the filters were. So now it's easier than ever before. Basically, if you go to any of your screens, you could go ahead and click these three dots and you click share. That generates a link in the background and copies it to your clipboard. So if I want to share, for example, the HV screen with anybody, and I'll actually do that right now on YouTube, is I could copy that link and I could just paste it in and share it with everybody else. Now, when I do that, what that will basically look like on your guys' end when you activate this, you'll see a blue bar at the top that shows up that do you want to add the HV screen? Do you want to import that screen to your account? So if we go ahead and click add, it's going to add the word copy at the very end of it. And let's just say I go ahead and save that. So when I run this particular screen, you now have the exact same filters that I'm running for my screen. So it makes it really easy for trader A to share with trader B. It makes communication a lot easier across the board. And we have the ability to now do this for screeners, screener presets. If you go to watch list, I could do the same thing. So if I want to share my focus list with anybody, I could go right here, go to my core. I want to share my focus list. I go ahead and share. And I could say, this is my focus and share that. And that way you could also import, screens from other traders into the platform as well. The same thing applies for column sets. So if you like someone's data columns and you want to request them, they could go ahead and give you guys those data columns and basically click the three dots, click share. Same thing, and will happen when you import it. It will import the exact same data columns that another trader may be using. The last bit of sharing is on the data panel. So if you like the data panel that I'm using, I could go ahead and share my data panel in the live stream chat. So if you guys can also import, data panels from other traders as well. This kind of lays the groundwork for a lot of things that we want to do in the community module. This is just it was a quick, easy way for us to get this out there and not really hold back. The community module itself is going to be a lot bigger and a lot more features and probably a dedicated button over here. But sharing with other traders, sharing your watch list, your screeners, your data panels, your column sets is all available and very, very easy to do. Any questions there?
I think we're good.
Yeah, no questions there. So the next thing that we did in the month of August is to revamp our education module. We kind of launched it with the soft launch, but now we've really ramped it up as to what you could do and what kind of shows up for users. So one of the first things is we have 3 different tabs. So we have articles. These are blog posts, and we publish 1 blog post a week. That is available within the platform now, so you don't have to go to our website. When you go ahead and click this, it will open that particular blog post in a new tab at the very top. If I go back, you also have the ability to filter things, right? So if you're looking for things related to the dashboard, you'll get that. If you're looking for things related to fundamentals, you'll get that. If you're looking at, just technical analysis, you could get that, or anything related to the screener, right? So we have a whole bunch of articles related to the screener that you could go over as well. The other drop down that we added is beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So we kind of broke down some of the articles that we made into the different types that we feel, a beginner trader or a more advanced user would want to see. So that's the second setting. And then you can also sort by popular, oldest, A to Z, Z to A, and the latest ones that we've released. Same thing goes for any of the videos that we do release on our YouTube channel or elsewhere. Those are available under this particular tab. You can go ahead and search any of those. They're also marked up just like we do for our screener indicators and dashboards. Same type of marking and color scheme to give you a clear idea of which one's what. And these are update. I feel like we're a video or two behind here, Richard, but these will be updated as soon as our videos are released on YouTube as well. So again, it's just to keep you guys in here, to keep everything searchable, to keep everything in the platform, so you're not going elsewhere.
And you should show them the events as well, that tab.
Yes. The third one is events. So all our prior webinars that we've done and gone into depth on particular features, how you scan them, how to use watchlists, etc., are all available under here. And then the upcoming stuff. So I'm doing a full platform walkthrough on September 7 at 11 a.m. So we'll dive deep into the full platform, its capabilities there. You could go ahead and register it. When you click that, the Zoom link will pop up. And you could also any upcoming event that we have will always show in line over here, making it very easy for you guys to look at the prior events and also future upcoming events. So those were the updates to the education module. Makes it a lot easier for onboarding. We're gonna have a whole onboarding thing to make it easier for people to learn and adapt and kind of get into Deepvue right away for especially our new customers. But also your existing subscribers will also have a access to the onboarding module that we're about to launch as well. But this is all part of onboarding people, making it easier for them to use Deepvue. The next thing that I have on my list is the improvements we made to global search. And this was kind of big. A lot of people had requested this. We didn't really have this for quite a while. So what would happen before is when you would search, let's just say if I search Apple, and all of these watch lists and all of these screeners would kind of go to Apple itself. And it made it really, really hard aesthetically, or to quickly search a symbol, you would have to wipe out all your watch lists and screeners. Now the search is smart enough to pick up that, you really don't want to do that, and it will update the chart at the same time. So what it also does is something like this, where you have just a single chart, which is a dashboard that I have for myself. And I like to just, go through, let's say I know my focus list and the tickers on it. I usually tend to do this and do some charting that way, or journaling, etc. And it makes it really, really easy when you have just, one big chart and you could type in any ticker into it. So that improves the experience for global search quite a bit, and makes it a lot easier so that you don't, wipe out your screen or watch list and then you have to X out your search and you come back and forth. So, any questions that you see there?
There is a question about the pre and post market line, and I know people have requested that in the past, and maybe you could provide some insight on that feature.
Yeah,
Any
so
specific questions?
basically we are working with our trading engine is provided by TradingView, and they have not enable this capability for us to do this at the moment. And we are working with them to get that enabled. This is one of the limitations of using an external charting platform, which in the near future we will introduce Deepvue charts, which will transition over to those. It won't be abrupt, but then it will give us the capability to do everything and anything that we want when it comes to charting. So we are working with them. We should have some updates regarding that feature, I would say a little bit towards the end of September. We know it's highly requested, but our roadmap and where we're headed in the future, we want to make it clear that, we want something that we can fully control the experience, and that will be Deepvue charts, which will be coming in the future. Okay, so the next thing that I have on my list is actually a data point, which I feel is really, really useful. And we haven't talked much about this, but it's price percent change since last earnings. So we added this recently in the platform. We've been tweaking it, trying to make it, a little bit better. Sometimes it's off. So we haven't really, screamed or talked about it uh, that much. But what this data point basically does is it will measure the price percent change from, so if we were to zoom in and we want to see the biggest winners in the market since earnings, it will take the close of this bar and it will give you a price percent change from that earnings day bar. So we'll take the close of that and how is the movement of the stock from that particular day's close, right? We'll actually go ahead and create a scan of that just to showcase it to you guys. So if I type in last earnings, we'll go ahead and use that filter. So if I want to say, show me all stocks that are up 15% or more since last earnings, it will say 485 of those. If I say, last is greater than 15, just give it some liquidity criteria. Let's give it some average volume. So we get liquid stocks. So if I go ahead and do that, let's just say average dollar volume of 10 million or more on an average 20-day basis. Let's see. And if we save that screen, let's just call it price percent change since last earnings. Save that. Let's add it as a column as well. So if I add this as a column, we'll update my column right here. And now we get, pretty much this data point will tell me which stocks are up from earnings and how much they're up. So for example, so this stock CDNA, how has it acted since earnings as well? So we're making some improvements to this calculation because sometimes it tends to take the prior date instead of the actual date, but this is live in the platform now. So something like a Duolingo that gapped up has now run up from 178 to 209. This data point tells you that it's a run up about 17% from the close of this particular day to the close of today. So that's about 17.32, 7.37. So this one's obviously more accurate. The data point's way more accurate than my drawing in terms of the closes, but it gives you that particular measure as well. This way you could study earnings cycles a lot quicker. You could take a look at, which stocks are performing the best in this particular earnings cycle and have some scans regarding that. I think it's a huge deal, especially if you want to look at, you're looking at earnings gappers or things of that nature. This data point will be the one that you want to use in your scans. The next iteration of this data point is going to be the fact that we'll combine it, the price percent change since last earnings. We will combine this data point and the HV characteristics to then scan for percent from HVC. That will be the next iteration as we get more specialized in terms, because a lot of people are using that. So that's kind of the first step is to get this data point, and the next will be percent from HVC. Awesome. So the next update that I will cover is we made some big improvements to the stats table. So the stats table and what it has done, the way we drew the blue and pink lines at the bottom for acceleration of earnings or declining earnings, basically, was not the best way. So we optimized that a little bit so that now when you see this, there's 1/4 of, where it went from 1050, 1050% to 537%, and then from 537 to 486. So we're seeing declining growth or declining earnings growth. And this is kind of the quarter where it started. And then you see, if you see 3/4 of those in a row, now it's fully represented and well represented in the stats table. That's a minor update, but visually it's a lot more powerful now when you guys see the red lines and the pink lines at the bottom. And it means a lot more, and it's a lot more accurate as to how these are drawn versus what we had in the prior months. The next update I want to cover is when you're sorting, we had some updates to the UI up here. We used to have a brush, and the brush became another, kind of icon that you had to take care of. But now what happens is when you sort by a particular column, you could go ahead and just hover over the one to clear the sorting, which makes it a lot easier. So now if I want to go clear my sorting, I just hover over the one and get rid of it. We're making such minor adjustments throughout the UI of the platform. Something like you'll see that the settings icon for data panel and the stats table and the screener table are all three different icons, and it makes it really confusing. So things like these are going to be a focus to us, and we will be optimizing these so that they look very similar throughout the platform. This again is a big push towards improving the onboarding experience, making it far more easier for users to learn the platform as we add more and more features to the platform as well. So the last two updates that I want to cover and then we'll get into the future roadmap and what we're going to do in September and the updates that we're going to roll out is two indicators. The first one is the DV market indicator or the market navigator. This particular indicator, what it does is it allows you to build a system based on signals that are important to you, and it will basically give you an indication as to if a stock has more buy signals than sell signals. So we have about 10 buy signals that we coded up, and we have about 10 sell signals that we coded up as well. You can set the threshold for where you want to trigger the buy signals if they're above 3 or more or 5 or more out of the 10 that you've enabled or disabled. And Richard's going to have a video on this indicator, I believe, in the upcoming weeks, which is going to be coming up soon. But this is really powerful as to what you guys feel is important. And we'll be adding more, but we're going to also make it so that in the future you can kind of maybe code something in terms of which buy signals are important. Maybe the 21 EMA is not important to you and the 21 SMA is, and how do we kind of give you that flexibility here? But we wanted to get this out in terms of combination and individual signals, and Richard's going to have a whole video dedicated on this, which we're calling the DV Market Navigator.
Yeah, and just a little bit on it, just because I think it's super useful. I love setting this, adding this to kind of my market monitor, which is kind of my dashboard setup where I take a look at the indexes, like the QQQ or the SPY, and the main signal from my market cycle is across above or below the 21 EMA. So being able to plot that on the chart is super helpful. And Rye, I know you use two closes below the 21 EMA as one of your sell rules, depending on the market situation. So I think this is a super helpful indicator that can help provide an objective view on a trend starting, a trend ending. And yeah, likewise, I'm really looking forward to when we can really get customizable, edit it. If you want to use the 10 EMA, you can use that. But right now, I think there's a great first iteration to this.
Awesome. So the next one that we added was also based on many requests is the TTM squeeze. This is well documented. I don't use it myself, but a lot of users requested this. So if you requested this, we've coded it exactly according to definition, and you can customize the length of it, the style, and the colors for increasing a positive or negative momentum over here. But Richard, I think you'll be doing a video on this, but
Yeah.
you Google TTM squeeze, that's exactly what we've coded into the platform. It's no different than any other platform out there.
Yeah, I also don't use it personally, but it's based on, it's looking for contractions, it's looking for expansions based on Bollinger Bands and Keltner Bands. So a different way of defining contractions and expansions than kind of what I use personally with RMV. But, like Rye said, it was highly requested, so it's great to have it as a part of the platform.
Awesome. So just to recap, we did pre and post market data points, link sharing for screener watch list and data panel. The education module got a revamp, the improved global search, price percent change since last earnings, stats table acceleration. I'm trying to read this off my head. Improvements to sorting and UI UX in general, in terms of hierarchy of buttons and making the UX a lot more simpler. Everything was blue before, a lot less things are blue now in terms of buttons. And then the two indicators, the Market Navigator and the TTM Squeeze. Now, I want to get into what we will do in the month of September, which I know a lot of you will be interested in knowing what we will be doing there. So one of the first things is I'll go ahead and switch my tab. So this is our staging environment. So I would ignore, I would say, the data because we're in the middle of testing a lot of things with our new database, time series database. But in an upcoming update, likely on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, we're going to introduce data panels on the dashboard. So the
Awesome.
way data panels on dashboard is going to work is, let's just say, let's X out of this and build it right here. So under chart, screen, or watch list, now we have data panel. And if we drag that over, you'll have the ability to have multiple data panels. So that's kind of the first thing that we're going to introduce. Is you can have not just one like we do on the screener or watch list, but you can have multiple and you could set them to multiple ones if you like. Now, let's say I have a data panel called default and I have, let's just load the Oliver Kell. Let's do the Richard Moglen and the Nick Schmidt one. So the way data panels are going to work is they're going to be resizable as to what you're doing. So if we feel like if you cramp it up a little bit, we will only show you one column. But if you have enough space for two columns or more, we will show you it that way. So it's going to be dynamically resizable depending on the size that you prefer and what you're using. So that takes out, a setting that you would have had to do to go here. And we had a button, so we iterated that, made it a little bit better. The second thing is data panels will also plug into the group functionality. So data panel 1 can be part of group 1, but data panel 2 can be part of group 2. Now you have two different data panels that will talk to two different groups. And that just plays on, the way we've set up the dashboard. It will continue to work that way. The way to edit and add things to the data panel is still going to be exactly the same here, where you add different data points. The ability to also, let's say if I want to go into edit, drag and drop is also going to be there. But there's one improvement that we've made. We had a limitation of 15 categories that people requested be increased to 20. So as part of this upcoming update next week, again, this is staging. This is not available in the platform as of right now. This is our staging environment. We're increasing that to be limitless. So that depends on, if you want to have, a lot of categories and bucket your stuff in many different ways, you'll have the ability to do that. We had a restriction on it. But given the new infrastructure that we've put in place, we now have the capability to kind of make everything limitless in terms of restrictions across the platform. So that's data panel on dashboard. It's completely flexible. It kind of orients things as to how you size them. You can have multiple ones on your dashboard. You can connect them to any other app. So if I were to add a chart and it would talk to a chart. And if I were to add a screener, it would talk to a screener. If I add a watch list, it would talk to a watch list. So all of that stuff is completely, part of what we're trying to do with the dashboard ecosystem and the app store as well. Questions on data panel?
Nothing on data panel, but would you like to provide an update as well on kind of the formula builder, what we're working on in the back end? Because there's some question about flexibility with screening based on moving averages, one above the other. So could you kind of give us an update about that and maybe a revised timetable that we're shooting for?
Yeah, so when it comes to the formula builder, it's been quite the task. We have a team that is fully dedicated to it that's been working on it for the past 4 to 5 months. Now, you guys may not see material changes on the front end just yet, but there's a lot of work that's been done and a lot of progress. The step that we are trying to finalize now is we've added over 20 years of time series open, high, low, close to a database. We have ported over all of our formulas that we have, let's say market cap or price percent change or average volume, etc. That's all been ported over. And we're kind of at the last step of testing all of that out, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So the original timeline was to get something out there in front of you guys in the month of August. That clearly did not happen, but it remains one of the top priorities because it's going to unlock everything else that we do. So as of now, I don't want to give a very concrete date, but it's still one of the top priorities. We're almost there. The data that you actually see right here, the charts are like one, about 1.5 to 2 times faster with the time series database that we have as well. But we're doing QA on data, making sure that everything's working properly. Our split service, our earnings dates, our dividends data, unadjusted, adjusted, all the data points that were ported over, the hundreds of data points that we have, we reprogram them in a time series way. So all of that's just taking a little bit of time. So still remains priority. I would say, I don't want to give a date again, but we're pretty close on finalizing that. We'll push that portion. You guys again won't see a change on the front end of the platform, but we'll begin working on the UI aspect of it, where when you create a new screen, it's going to be, a regular experience like we have and an advanced experience as well. So I would say early October-ish is when we'll finish the whole thing. And all of September, we're going to spend time in the background pushing changes to the production environment to continue to get closer and closer to it.
Yeah, and I just want to mention I pinned to the top of the chat the Deepvue roadmap where you can kind of see what's coming through the pipeline. You can see the progression, and you can also submit feature requests. So I saw some great requests from Anthony. Definitely go ahead and fill those out. That allows us to keep track of everything. It's really hard to keep track of things that just people put in the chat or on Twitter, via email, everywhere all at once. What's best to get it into our system is to submit a feature request either through the help module on Deepvue itself or through that link. And that makes sure everything's tracked and other users can upvote ideas that they would also like to be implemented to the platform. And that just lets us know, what is most valuable to our users, and we'll go ahead and do those and work on those first. There was also a question, Rai, you could address maybe. I know a lot of people are waiting on the news integration app. And also one question which I can answer: why is FSLR in the semiconductors group? Because it's a type of semiconductor. The technology is based on converting solar
And
solar. Yeah, go ahead. You
it's
probably know more than
also
I do. Yeah.
it's also because the GICS standard does not have a separate solar group,
Yep.
and that's a decision that was made by S&P Global. Some of them do state it as solar. Most don't state it as solar. It would be nice to have a separate solar group, but the next revision for S&P Global is in December this year, which is highly anticipated to introduce a solar group. So we'll see if they make that change. If they don't, it's okay if they do, but we're trying to follow a standard where it's the most consistent standard that exists and is the most up to date with current, market structure as well. So we went with a standard. We can't pick and choose, now we want, solar from, let's say, another standard and S&P Global at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So any updates on the news app? Because I know that's been highly requested.
the news app, probably it won't be this month. This month is mostly I have a few more things to showcase, but getting a lot of things that we have on the web app onto our mobile, onto our dashboard, streamlining a lot of our UI and onboarding to be better, and tweaking small things so that we're basically kind of streamlining in preparation for the big update, which is a formula builder. Once we get that, once we move in the entirety of our times, our database to a time series format, then it will be, kind of one integration after the other where you guys will get, a mouthful before the end of the year. I'm hoping. So we'll get a lot of data into the platform thereafter, which includes news. So um Let me keep going, Richard. A few more updates I want to share.
Yeah, before that, I
But
just want to mention, well, before Rye does that, drop any questions or feedback you have in the chat now, and we'll kind of talk about that and discuss those items after Rye concludes. Go ahead, Rye. I know you've got the mobile app stuff ready to go.
so this is an early build of the the screener update that's going to be coming up next week. So I've been testing that. I just wanted to showcase that as well. So you'll have the ability to access your saved screens and your presets on your phone. So let's say if you want to run a screen on the go, the Deepvue leaders, that screen will show up right here. You could select the stock, you can sort it by whatever. And then you can start flipping stocks right away. So the screener module, it was, I think it's a huge deal. It's going to bring a lot of capabilities that were on web, and not a lot of, our competitors have a full-fledged screener that you could use on the go, with any criteria that you could possibly think of as well. So, that is going to be coming up. A lot of these things, it's going to have a new UI at the very top. So this is actually a slider. I'm not able to slide it because I'm using a mouse. But it's going to have this UI at the top of it, and we're going to introduce the same UI on the web app a little bit later on. But since we're doing this, we thought, why keep it like the old UI? So we're introducing the new one on mobile first, which is rare, but is going to happen in some cases as well. Part of this update is also going to include uh, the way the table loads.
Yeah, please drop any questions down in the chat here. There's a questions about custom indicators. Eventually, we do want to offer that. Right now, it's not currently possible. But if you have specific indicators that you like, submit them as feature requests. And again, if there's enough upvotes, we'll be able to, recreate them and bring them in as a Deepvue proprietary indicator. So definitely submit them as feature requests, and we'll see what we can do.
Yes. So that was screener on mobile. That's the update. But one of the things that we're doing is to speed things up on Android. Because iOS and iPhones themselves are really, really, really capable devices, and they work really well and fast, even with, I would say no optimization on a code level, but Android does not. So you'll notice a huge increase in how things feel on Android in the next update as well. And that's a huge focus to make sure that the experience on iOS and Android remains on par, where the experience on iOS is always going to be a little bit more elegant and faster. That's just how things are in this space, but we want to make them equal as much as we possibly can. Uh, Richard, that was the updates. So data panel on dashboard,
Mhm.
screener on mobile. We're also going to add the data panel on iOS and Android as well. So the way that's going to show, and I think I have it up here. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yep.
Is we're going to add an icon at the very bottom next to the pencil uh, called data panel. So when we click that, you're going to have all your data points that are associated with the data panel that you choose show up. I sent out a video to get your guys' perspective. A lot of folks said, we're okay with this because we're not always going to want the data panel. We will have it available in the swipe charts mode as well. Maybe do a 2-finger press or something fancy in terms of a gesture to see the data for that. But when you click that data panel, it will pop up. You get to see the data points. You'll have all your saved data panels and data panel presets that will be available, just like they are on web. And you'll be able to, let's say top trader, you get to load that, see the data for that particular stock, and then you just swipe it down and you get rid of it. And when you get rid of it, you go back to your charts as well. So it's there when you need it. And you can swipe it away when you don't, when you're looking at charts for a particular company. The final design, we're trying to finalize it this week. We gathered a lot of feedback. If you're a Deepvue subscriber, you will receive frequent emails going forward on things that we need your opinion on as we design them. And then as we get them into beta, as we get them into our staging environment before they go into production, We're going to be highly active, asking you guys for feedback so we can get the best possible version of it out there first, and then obviously we'll continue to listen to what you guys have to say to improve it thereafter. So, data panel on mobile apps is also going to happen this month.
I know you wanted to also
The
share
next
share the roadmap, the watch list sections, manual arrangement, combo lists, drag and drop,
Yes.
that type of thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's talk about the web app a little bit. So one of the updates on the web app is we're going to add drag and drop first. So in order for us to do sections, we have to do drag and drop of on watch lists first. So the way that's going to work is I have a prototype here, where you will be able to drag a row and kind of like pick it up in a way, and take it to any other watch list that you like, and it will be added to that watch list. Or you could take multiple rows from your watch list and drag and drop them into different watch lists, as well. This capability, not highly requested, but it's one of those things where it's kind of like 2-in-1. We're going to code this in just to make sections happen, right? Because sections are highly requested. So for sections, the design is going to be when you hover over in the middle of a table, you'll see this plus icon that shows up. When you click that, a section is going to be added. You'll have the ability to rename that particular section, and also move that section to be anywhere that you feel is best. And this works exactly like it does on other platforms that you might be aware of that have sections. And it's really no different. It's going to be inline naming, inline, getting rid of a section. Sorting is going to be compatible, where now section 1 is going to be sorted within itself when you sort by the bigger, let's say last price or DCR. And you'll have the ability to have sections in Deepvue. And we're not going to limit you guys to anything when it comes to sections. It's very easy for us to maintain that on our back end, but that's what sections will look like. And this is a design of sections, and how they will look in Deepvue. The next thing is combo lists. So combo lists, the way they are going to work is you create a new watch list, you name it, and you set the type to, you want a regular watch list or you want a combo. You give it a description like you always do. We have to update the designs. We did this quite a while ago, but now it's going into development this month. You set those. If you click combo, you get to choose, how many watch lists you want to combine together. You give it a name. Save those. So this is kind of what the UI will look like. Very easy for you to create and combine different watch lists, and save them to the platform. And the rest of it is pretty much the same actions. So combo lists are also going to be worked on, giving you the ability to combine different watch lists together. Richard, I know in the past, I don't know, you've been a heavy user of combo lists. Do we need to add the ability for them to combine screeners with watch lists, or just watch lists together?
I think it'd be really good to be able to combine screens as well because or um and there's another idea. Well, actually, first getting to combining screens, I think that'd be really good because then, say you want to scan for HV edges, you want to see a screen that shows HV edges, you want to see really tight RMV. You can basically combine a lot of specialist screens together and have it show up in one outputted list. I think that'd be really good. And then another potential thing we could do is not just allow combo lists, but allow you to exclude symbols from another list. I think that could be pretty powerful.
Yeah, so that's also part of this month's roadmap is combo lists. And then one minor update we'll make to alerts is adding the date triggered column, because that's been a huge request for quite a while to have the ability to sort. And we're also redoing some of the alerts module to set it up for conditional alerts, which will be next month's focus. So this month is primarily getting data panel everywhere, getting our screener module on mobile, and bringing a lot of functionality to the watch list. And then next month we'll kind of shift focus to another module and how to make that better. Combine screens to list. I don't see any questions, but those are the plans for September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I just want to kind of thank everybody for bearing with us today. The next month's stream will be a lot smoother. And thank you guys for your feedback, for your questions. And if at any time you come up with a feature request, let us know. Submit it through the Deepvue roadmap. Submit it through the help module. That gets us into the system. And as many of you guys do, if you have any questions or feedback, you can reach out to support, and we'll be happy to help you guys over there. But a lot of great feedback today, and some thoughts as well. So I look forward to all that we can accomplish in September. And we've got a lot of great features coming over the next few months, which I'm really excited about, and I hope you guys are too as well. Right, anything you want to wrap up with today?
No, that is all. We will be doing this monthly. Any feedback, if you guys see this after the fact and we're in the middle of September, and if you have something to say, definitely say that in the comments. We do read them and um, make sure that we take into account everything that is said into our roadmap and things that we will do in the future. So it's definitely helpful to see all those comments.
Yeah, I think what really sets us apart, and what we really try to do is incorporate all the feedback from you guys. We ourselves are using the platform daily as our daily driver. So the frustrations that we feel, we work hard to fix, the frustrations that you guys feel, the features that you guys want, what we want, we're working hard to make all those smooth, and bring those into reality. So yeah, keep requesting stuff, keep reaching out if you experience any bugs or have any feature requests. And with that, I think we can call it today, and we hope to see you guys next month as well at the next one. So cheers. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.